Oh my God. All right, now I'm recording, so I'm gonna restart. The final exam will be open book and it will be online, but the final exam is different for everyone. So there's many different versions of the final exam, which basically what happens is I have a collection of, if I'm not mistaken, around 120 questions, something like that. And what I do during the final exam is to tell the software for everyone taking the exam to select a random set of them. And it will probably be between 4 to 6 questions. So I'm still not very sure on how many questions I'll put, but it's most definitely around 6. Okay, you'll have 2 hours to do the final exam, and you can take it anytime you want. But once you take it, the clock does not stop, and so you have to really, when you start the final exam, make sure that you have 2 hours to do it. Then what will happen at the end of those 2 hours is that the final exam automatically submits. So if you did not upload your document by then, I don't get anything and I will not accept it. So you have to be very, very careful with the timer on the final exam, all right? And I think that is clear. Also, all right, I send you all the grades for the projects. Just one thing, look, it takes me a long time to do the audio recording of feedback for every single project. So in order to accelerate the things, I didn't. And what I'll do is the following. If you want feedback on any of the classwork or any of the project works, then let me know. All right, and we can organize either a call or I can send you the feedback for those works in a voice clip, for example, and tell you the details. All right, and also since everything is already done, all right. Oh, just a couple of questions going on. So Thomas asked, is the final exam multiple choice? No, it's more open-ended. There's going to be a component of multiple choice as well, but it's not the multiple choice that came on your quizzes. All right, sorry, it took me a while to get the word. But what I'm thinking is to put some, I'm gonna try to launch by tonight, multiple choice questions quiz. And that would be for you guys to practice, to see some of the questions that might come on the final exam and to understand, no, actually forget that. No, there's no multiple choice on the final exam. It's a nightmare. No multiple choice. It's just going to be straight exercises or questions about essay, for example, about a specific topic or something. All right. How do we prepare for the final? It was asked here to me. My suggestion is to prepare for the final. It's very simple. Double check the materials that we covered. All right. And also I will send you some sample exam to do. All right. What I'm going to do is send you an exam that with basically some of the type of questions that I will ask on your final, and I will be answering, and then you can practice with that one, for example, or but realize that the mock exam I send you obviously is not the one that will come on your final itself. No worries. If you accidentally send me a private chat, I still see it on my side very clearly. So it's not a problem. All right, just give me now a second so that maybe I show you one of the things that I might do. Just a quick second. The hell, wait, cannot find it. So what I'm thinking for the final exam is to basically give you a precise exercise to do. And for example, out of what I might happen is to give one of the exercises. Some of the exercises in the database are very similar to the ones that we did during the class, for example. So it can be a great way to use it, right? And the other thing as well, actually, before I forgot, you're not going to do, Elazar, you're not going to do 120 questions. No. All right. What I said is I have 120 questions.
Six questions.
6 questions, exactly, that are randomly selected for everyone. And that's because I don't trust any of you guys, and I know that you will communicate with others. So if everyone has different questions, there's no way you can cheat by borrowing the work of someone else. Also, please do realize that every answer you give me, all right, every single answer you give me, I'm going to put through a plagiarism check. Every single, even your name, okay? So please do realize that. Before I do forget that, one other thing as well, like I promised to you guys before, I will be sending you just MGMT690. All right, let me actually, where are you guys? There, I'm gonna share my screen. Share my screen, and there we go. All right, can you guys see me? Can you guys see my screen? Yeah, just let me know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna just create now the file to send it to you. How do I do a copy? Make a copy. It's not what I want. I'm gonna, what the hell? All right, screw it. Just for what I'm just gonna do now is quickly the Excel sheets that I talked with you guys about. We covered a total of 11. And I'm gonna go to your canvas and get your names and send you, and then you're gonna tell me what are the 2 assignments you wanna do for each one, okay? So just need to go here, actions, export. There you go. All right. All right. You are annoying me, so you're gonna go down here. All right. And there you go. So we're gonna have your names. This will be for the homeworks. This will be for the classworks, which we also had 11. And also, how many groups we had? Oh, I always feel lost. People. All right. So we had ANS2, B, and obviously I messed that up. Oh, God damn it. And group, right? And then I'm just gonna copy that thing. This one. What comes after 5, 6, 7, 9. All right. And then basically how it works is this. For the homeworks, as you know, they were individually. So you just go here and you select the 2 you want to resubmit or redo. And then for the group works, which is on the classworks over here, you just select for your team, what are the 2 classworks you want to resubmit and what are the 2 project works that you want to resubmit. All right. And I'll send to everyone where? And I'll send to everyone. Yeah, let me send now on the chat. There you go. Okay. So you don't have to do that now. I need this by Friday midnight. Okay. I need it by Friday midnight, and then I activate it. All right. I will open all the exceptions, and then you guys can just resubmit the works once again until Friday midnight. Okay, till Friday midnight. So just one thing, just two. All right, just two. Okay. Extra credits are we cannot resubmit it. For extra credits, does not work like that. I only open it for the mandatory exercises. But I do remind everyone that if I'm not mistaken, I already published it. Let me see. Here we go. If I'm not mistaken, did I already put extra case? Huh, I did not put actually. All right. Assignment. Here we go. All right, there's an extra case. Activate. So this is another extra case you can also do. All right, 2,000 words individual, blah, blah, blah. And the deadline for this one would be as well next Friday, which is the 8th. Okay, not this week, the week after. There. And this is more of a case study. It can give you up to 10 points in the final grade. Anyone can do it, obviously, and this is on top of the extra cases that you could have done. I give a lot of opportunities for you guys to get extra points, and therefore, there, okay? Deadline is May 8th, May 8th, all right? And with that, we are done with that part, okay? So, all right, excellent. So my suggestion to you is, in terms of the quiz, obviously, it's not mandatory that you have to do 2 resubmissions. If you don't want to do it, fair enough. Okay, just don't leave anything. And then for the class works, all right, the group projects, my suggestion is obviously talk with your team first. You still have until Saturday to do it, but you can only select 2. If you put 3 crosses there, all right, if you go here and try to be smart, for example, let's see a group that always gives me problem. There you go. For example, if you do this, basically I open the exception for none because it's just 3 of them that I want, okay? Yes, I am rude, I know that, but you guys love me. All right, so anything,
sorry, Professor.
Tell me.
How many how many units we can resubmit?
2 for each category. So that means you can resubmit 2 of the individual homeworks, 2 of the classworks, and 2 of the project parts that we did. Okay?
Okay.
So you can resubmit 2 of them.
Sorry, Professor, 1 second. I just have a small doubt.
Tell me.
Where can we find the extra case, actually? The attachment for extra case.
The extra case, it's over here. So if you go on the home tab, all right, on the home tab, you scroll down. There's a new category that I just created showing extra case. If you don't see it, it's just because you have to refresh the page because I just created it. And the extra case is there. It's a simple case study, all right, of 2,000 words, which is around 4 pages. But this part is very important. APA reference system. I want references. I would say that anything with less than 5 references is really not, anything less with 10 references, not worth my time. Okay?
Got you.
And this can give up to 10 extra points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. As you can see, 10 points, all right? And the rubric is here. It's a little bit old case study. It's 20 years old, this situation, but it's still very, how to say, it's still very, very useful to go through it. All right? Any other questions? Let me see here. For the extra, yeah, Gita was asked for the extra credit we have on the classwork. That one I don't reopen, okay? Extra credits of the classworks I don't reopen. That's why I gave the extra case at the end. For the resubmission, yeah, I can. But I have to write it down because otherwise I know I'm gonna forget. Just a second. Resubmission of 690 Sunday. So that would be Sunday. For the resubmission, Sunday the 26th. All right, Sunday the 26th. But that's not the date. You do understand. You do understand one thing. For the resubmission, what I'm asking Thomas is simply to tell me until Friday is which ones you want to do. Just that. All right. Not the resubmission of the file itself. The resubmission of the file itself would be until next week. All right. So don't worry. It's just to tell me which ones. In other words, okay, where the hell is my file? Ah, here we go. Why do I have two separate tabs? It's just making my life harder. There you go. So I just want this file complete until Friday, basically. All right. Sarah, if we missed one of the submissions previously, would it count as a full grade now? If you missed one of the submissions previously, you got a 0, right? So if you now use it as one of the resubmissions, I will just grade it as normally. Okay. I'll just grade it as normally without penalty. Okay. So my suggestion is obviously for everyone that missed the submission, all right, is to just upload the one that they missed. Okay. Any other questions that we have? No? For now, everything is okay for now? All right. Sure. To repeat the dates, okay, I'm going to write it down here. Friday. Let me just pick up. So until the 24th of April, submit what resubmissions. So until the 24th of April, what resubmissions you want. Okay. Then you're going to have until the 1st of May to resubmit works. Just that this is annoying to me. There you go. All right. Then on the 26th of 4, you can start the final exam. All right. And finally, then these dates, the final exam will show up the due date, but on the 26th is when you can start, and you must finish the final exam as well on the 1st of May. All right. Right now, as you probably know, the final exam topic is still not created. All right. I did not create here the assignment, but please let me show you on another course how it would look like. All right. So I'm just going to show you, for example, for my Busy 410, it's already there. Okay. So when you see it, you arrive at something like this, right? You arrive at something like this. And by the way, during the final exam, if you have any questions, send me a message on WhatsApp or send me a text message, and I'll try to get back to you as quickly as possible so that you don't have any issues. But the final exam would look like this. You arrive at a page like this that says final exam, and then you would click on take quiz. In my case, it shows preview. So I'm going to show you how the final exam would look like. Okay. So you have the instructions at the very top, like it shows over here. Let me maybe zoom in to make it easier for you guys there. So you would have the instructions there, any necessary information I would give you here. And then you have on the right over here, the list of questions, all right? In this case, this exam, for example, has 24 questions, while yours only has, it would only have, for example, 6, okay? And on this case, it's a multiple choice questions, right? Multiple choice and essays. But for you, that does not make much sense because it's a completely different class. So for you, there would be 6 different questions with 6 different files that you must submit, for example, all right? Now, every time you submit the file or you answer the question, it would show up here on the list of questions up here that you already answered that. So before you submit, make sure that all the questions you answered have this check, all right? The other thing is this, all right? You have the timer here, so be careful. If this is just making you more nervous, just hide it, okay? You can just hide it. But basically, the exam is designed for 2 hours, but I give you 2.5 hours. So I give an extra 30 minutes just in case something goes wrong, all right? When you start taking the exam, tell everyone in your house you have to do an exam and not to bother you, because the exam timer will not stop. It's important that you make sure that you have the necessary time to do so. All right. Now that I repeated the dates over here, is it clear? All is clear? Yes, excellent. Okay. So with this, all right, my suggestion for us today is to maybe to go through a couple of exercises that might come in the final exam, all right? And just to help you practice a little bit. But what I'm just gonna need is a little break before we do that, right? What happens is I'm gonna keep on recording. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, there. So the recording must go on. I cannot stop it and then join the 2 different recordings because Zoom does not allow to do that. So what I'll do is before we get started with the practice and while I prepare all my things, I need 15 minutes. So I start at 1:45 again, and maybe we work together on doing some exercises so that you know what kind of things you can expect for the final exam. Sounds good to everyone?
Yep.
Yep, all right, excellent. Adam, you do not need to talk, okay? Especially you.
But I want to.
Yeah, let's maybe kick you out. Let's see, how can make someone not allow to be in the, anyway. All right, guys, we'll start at 1:45. What am I wearing on my back? Oh, this is just my, it's for my gun, actually. No, it's actually not. It's just to correct my posture. I've been working on my desk for weeks now, and I'm starting like my back to be like this. So I put this to help me like kind of like stand up a little bit more straight. Otherwise I'm gonna suffer from my back. It's quite cool. It's one of those things like this. Makes it look more dangerous. All right, guys, I'll see you back in 15 minutes, okay? All right. I'm back. Is everyone back? I'm going to remove this thing. Annoy me. The hell? How do I remove this? Ah. Oh, that took a while. All right. Can I start again? Can I get started again, guys? Let me know. Yes, no. Just type on the message if some of you are back or.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Shock is here. Excellent. So now let's get into details for final exam then, and to do a practice final exam. Okay. Now for this, we're going to use a slightly more interactive method, let's say. And what I'm going to do is to basically first, I need to go back and create another Google Sheets because we all going to be participating at the same time. All right. So. All right. I just sent you on the chat a link for a new Google form. And this one is the one that basically we're going to use now to discuss and to answer basically to the questions that we're going to do. We're going to do a practice final exam. And the objective is that each one of you will answer on your own box. So just do me a favor, all right, for now. You see your name there. If you see your name, maybe paint your name in a different color so that I know you're here. Because for the ones who are not here, or I'll make sure to delete their name so it doesn't take any space. All right. So just do that. And in the meantime, I'm just going to prepare the questions that we're going to work together to explain to you how it will work. So many of you are already. I have 2 people that are here. Again, I just remind everyone, please just copy, paint your name on the Excel sheet that I just gave you. I'm going to share my screen now so that you can see it. And I'm going to turn off the camera so you don't have to be distracted by my beauty. Okay. So all I want you to do is a little bit on your name to do something like this. Just put any color you wish. Okay. It's just to make sure that we have this, that I know who is here and who's not here. All right. So to give you a little bit more precision on the final exam, I have a database of several questions. And basically what will happen is, oops, just a second.
Professor, can you send the link again? I didn't get the link.
Oh, because I think you had some problems logging in. Wait. To everyone in the meeting. Okay, so Gita cannot do it. So, all right. Gita, if you cannot participate on the Excel file, it's okay. For example, just post your answers on the chat, send them to me as in a private message so that I see it's you. And I'll copy your answers to the Excel file so that everyone can see them. All right, so it's not a problem. All right, guys, so the way it's going to work for the final exam is this. There's 3 parts on the final exam, okay? All right. All right, so you move this here so you can see. For the final exam, there's 3 parts, all right? Part 1 is a discussion question, all right? So actually it's 2 discussion questions, 2 short discussion questions. When I say short, I say around 200 words, no more than that, with 2 references, okay? This is worth 30% of your final exam. And I'm gonna show examples in a little bit, don't worry. Second part of your final exam, the second part is called problem solving, right? So on this one, once again, 200 words with 2 references, right? 200 words with 2 references, and on this one, also worth 30%. It's just 1 question as well, but it's a question that demands a little bit different skills. And I'm gonna mention to you in a bit. And finally, there's a case study, all right? And this one you have to read. There's 2 questions. 2, 3 questions, depends on the case study. Some case studies, the sum of questions are a little bit more simple, so I put 3. And once again, for each one is 200 words, 2 references, okay? And this one is worth 40% or 20% per question. So how would this look like? Basically, all right, on the discussion questions, I just ask your opinion on something, but it's not like there's a right or wrong. Okay, they are extremely open-ended questions, and there's a variety of ways on how to answer them. That's why I call them discussion question, because you can approach these questions in any way that you want. And again, I'm going to show examples in a bit. Problem-solving question is more like I give you a situation of a project, and I ask you, what would you do if this problem occurred? So once again, in this situation, there are answers that are incorrect and there are answers that are correct, but there are a multitude of answers that are correct. So why do I give for just this one question a little bit more score than the others? Because this one demands that you think carefully about what you're going to say. All right. Once again, I do demand that you guys do read I do demand that you guys be careful about the words, and please no more than 200 words. For the case study, I'm talking about, sorry, Vigilik just made me laugh. Many of you did not have the fantastic course of Com 520 with me, where I gave the students a case study of 17 pages to do. And I think Vuk is a little bit still traumatized by that. No, Vuk, don't worry. No case studies of 17 pages. The case study is actually 1 or 2 pages tops. Don't worry. Okay, 2 pages is the absolute maximum, and most of them is just actually 1 page. So you don't have to be worried about reading the 17 pages. I'm sorry that I'm laughing. I know it's a little bit mean, but it was funny for me. Okay, and for this case study, like I said, it really depends. Some case studies, the questions are a little bit more complex. So let's say I'm gonna change this here. 500 words total. So that means out of the 2 free questions, so if you have 2 questions, you can do 250 each. If you have 3 questions, as long as the overall total is no more than 500 words, I'm fine with that. Regarding the structure of the case study, is there any questions, guys? Are we clear about the structure itself? Just let me know. Okay, I'm assuming there's no, wait, all right, so everyone is fine with that. Okay, excellent. So let's practice a little bit so that you guys don't get too scared about the kind of questions I will ask. Now, just one thing, the kind of questions I will ask, look, if it was a closed book exam, it would be different, but since it's open book, I need to give questions, and some of the questions might be things that I did not cover too much into detail in class. All right, so a little bit more, let's say, you might have to do a little bit of more research for some little things that maybe you don't understand immediately, okay? For the discussion question, 200 words each, right? Yes, it is 200 words each. Here for problem solving, 200 words, but there's only one question. And for the case study, 500 words in total, all right? Okay, so let me give you an example of two potential discussion questions. Let's start with the first one, and I'm gonna hide this one there so you don't see it, haha. Let's start with the first one. And basically what I'm gonna do is I give you a little bit of time. We go back to our Excel file, all right? And if I'm not mistaken, Gita, by the way, can you tell me on the chat, what's your family name? I don't remember. And basically what are we gonna do is the following. There's the first column is for question 1, all right? And you're gonna answer next to your name, all right, your answer. You're just gonna give me next to your name, what is your answer, all right? So in this case, I'm not gonna ask for references. I'm not gonna ask for 200 words, but rather, for example, just write 2 or 3 sentences about how would you answer this question for this. And then we're gonna go through them. I might question some of you and give you a little bit feedback on them or good things that I like or things that I don't like, okay? So question number 1, all right? And I remember Gita that she's on the phone to please put her answer as a private chat to me and I'll answer it. Okay, question 1 is, what are the primary roles of a project manager in your opinion? And how are the primary roles related to one another? So this question has 2 parts here. Now, when I give you a question like this, basically, you can answer mostly one of them or you can divide. I'm really giving you a lot of freedom here. For example, if you decided you want to focus more on the first part and just talk a little bit on the second one, it's fine. But ideally, you should have half of your answer about question 1 and half of your answer about question 2 in order to create a better dynamic. So how would you answer this? What are the primary roles of a project manager and how are these primary roles related to one another? So you can do a little bit of research, and what I'm gonna do is the following. It's a 10 minutes, okay? So it's now 2 p.m. and at 2:10, I come back here and I tell you my feedback on the answers that you give me. Sounds good to everyone? Yep.
Yes.
All right, excellent. Excellent, excellent. So 10 minutes, guys, on the clock. Give me the best answer you have, all right? And remember, the best answers are always based on a little bit of research that you did. So try to go online, find a little bit of an answer, and in 10 minutes we'll correct. I'll be here. I have my headphones on and my microphone on to answer any questions you have.
Can you open the question, Prof?
Yeah, go for it.
Can you just show the question once again?
Sorry, again?
Can you show the question once again?
Kristen? Huh?
Yeah.
The question?
Yeah.
Sorry. There you go.
Thank you.
It's on the screen. All right, time's up. Okay, did someone delete Romani's answer?
I'm retyping it real fast.
Oh, okay. Do you
I
have?
don't know where it went.
Did you by any chance wrote it in somewhere else first, or on Word first and then copy it there by any chance?
Yeah, I copy pasted it, but
Just
it looked fine. And I went to grab something, and I came back, and then okay, it's okay.
Can you copy it again?
No.
All right.
I'm typing. I'm gonna be fast.
All right. Okay. Now take your time then. All right, guys. So going back to our question, what are the primary roles of a project manager and how are the primary roles related to one another? All right. So let's pick up here a couple of questions. And I'm going to delete some people that are not here. So delete row. And all the rest, if nothing shows up, I'm going to delete them as well, since there's empty cells. Even though some of them said they would be, okay. Some of them are just writing somewhere else. Excellent, thanks. Okay. All right. So let's see what we got. I'm going to pick the first one here, Babu. All right, Babu said activity and resource planning, organizing and motivating the project team, controlling time management, cost estimating and developing the budget, ensuring customer satisfaction, analyzing and managing project risk, monitoring progress, and managing reports and necessary documentation. All right, but once again, I would say that, all right, Babu, this seems like an answer straight out of a website. I don't know if it is or not. But the other thing that I'll tell you is this on your answer is that you forgot the second part. How are these roles connected to one another? Or do they affect? And also, maybe some of them here, I would say they're not primary roles, okay? So be careful. When I say primary roles, I would say the most important ones, okay? Most important ones. Then I have here, Bagiraku said, the main role of the project manager are to manage the trade-offs between something. And I don't know what that something is, all right, because the answer is not complete. So maybe let me see if it might be a, no, it's just the answer is not complete. All right, so not much I can say there here on this answer specifically. Then we have BJLEC. BJLEC said the primary role doesn't really exist. His role is composed out of many small tasks like activity and resource planning, organizing, motivating a project team, controlling time management, cost estimator. Project, and his or her roles in project also depends from the type of role in that project. It's a very good answer. It's a very good answer. Okay, good job, Vuk, good job. I like your answer. Rather, on this discussion question, it says, I disagree with the fact that there is a primary role. My suggestion is that there is more of a small roles that all combined together make sense. So here's a question, here's an answer that even though does not go directly to what I see, what I asked, that I'd say, but it does provide me with that discussion point. And I really like this answer. It's a very good point that is made here. Congratulations, Vuk. Then Ben, the primary role of project managers are to lead and manage a project and a team, all right? And he or she will have to make sure that the whole team manages deliverables. Those roles will be to control the status of the project and progress, to be a direct link in between the team, the core team, and the stakeholders, but also to deal with all the decision-making process. The project manager will also have to motivate and coach his or her team in order to get to the best project possible. He or she will also have to deal with the issue management, conducting problems. All right, Ben, this is also a very good Answer, there's a focus, in your opinion, there's a focus on the communication management. And I agree. Now notice, guys, that even though these two answers are completely different, both of them are correct. Okay, because again, on a discussion question, I cannot really say, if I ask for your opinion or your answer on something, I cannot really say your opinion is wrong, even if I disagree with you. But obviously, there are things that are indeed incorrect. If you tell me that the main objective, the main task, for example, of a project team leader is to do the work, to develop as many tasks as possible, this obviously would be incorrect. Okay. So then we have here Shagantipati, project manager, he who leads the team and creates an action plan. Main key roles are resource planning, organizing, time management. I would say extremely incomplete. And I cannot give much feedback on just one sentence. I would need more content here to be able to grade it. If you gave it to me on on the exam, I'll have to give it a 0 since I don't have anything there to, there's not, maybe I would give a 1 out of 20 points, for example, since there's a couple things that are correct, but there's not much content. You need to develop your idea better, defend your idea in order to be able to get a better score. Then here, what we have here, just a second. Project manager has to ensure proper functioning of the project and that each member of the team is involved. Not necessarily. You might have projects where actually, due to the team members, it's better if they work separate and you are the point of communication. Not all projects demand cooperation between the team, okay? And it also says here, proper functioning of the project. Well, that doesn't tell me much. I need to know a little bit more. He also has to control that the allocated budget, the resources, and the scope are aligned with the project. Well, yeah. He has to control the allocated budget, allocated resources, and the scope. Okay, how about schedule? So schedule is not important here. Okay, so there's a couple of elements here that are very important. And once again, answer is too short. There's not much here that I can analyze. So please be careful, guys, with your answers. Then we're gonna go, okay, so I would like to say very good answers we have. Very good answers we have here. God, this, maybe not something so flashy. There you go. All right, this one is very good. This one is very good, all right. And project management overseeing a project at each stage from initiation to closure. Initiation to, where was I at? Project, from initiation to closure, communicates to stakeholders, manages project team, making sure to meet all deliverables in a timely manner. That is indeed true, but I did not ask for the definition of the project manager, okay? Be careful, this is indeed true. What you said, I would say this is half correct on the sense that you did not tell me the relationship among all those tasks, and you could develop the answer a little bit better as well. But the content is indeed correct, it's just you would not get full score on this type of answer. All right, Romani, let's see what Romani said. I'm sure nothing special, but person that is making sure that the team understands the mission they are given. He sets milestones, objectives, and decisions to what the strategy of is responsible for making the communication smooth with the team itself and between the team and the stakeholders of the project. That is true. The link between these roles and they need both managerial. Fair enough. Not I would say not 100%, okay? Because even though you started really well here, Romani, at the end, this part over here, this part over here, the link between his roles is that they need to both managerial and communication skills so that the project manager can be some kind of hub for the project. It is indeed correct, but I would also say that it's a little bit more than that. The link between all those roles is also to make sure that at the end of the day, the deliverables are met, right? So only by coordination can we actually do that, right? And that's what I believe at the end is missing a little bit. Then we have Sharma. Sharma, the primary role is to define project scope and determining available resources. That is absolutely incorrect. It's not the role of the project manager to do that. Actually, the project manager helps the client or the sponsor to do that, right? A lot of times we are assigned the scope. We don't decide what to do. Be careful. Okay, what you said is it's the complete opposite of the truth. And I don't think you did it on purpose. I just think it was the misuse of words. Okay, so they develop clear and straightforward plans to help the team to reach their maximum potential. That is also incorrect. There are many projects where you cannot do that. For example, if you have a project of a new product development, how can you tell the team what they must do when you yourself don't know what the product is? So there are many projects that are discovery that we cannot clearly define what is the scope. Be careful. Meeting the deadlines is the most important. Once again, that is also not true because it really depends on the primary constraint. All right. There are projects where meeting the deadline is very important. For example, Sharma, if we're talking about organizing an event, then obviously meeting the deadline is extremely important. Right? But if we are talking, for example, of improving the quality of a new process, then here quality or scope is much more important than the budget. All right. So here, be careful because this would be a negative, this would be a null response, and therefore I would have to give it a 0 since there are so many things indeed that are incorrect. Be careful with the use of absolutes. If you notice during the class, I very rarely use words like never or always. And why is that? Because those things, project management, really depends on the situation. Test thoughts. Oh, okay. So Romania, I would say, by the way, here also had a very good answer, right? So test thought, a project manager is the person who is in charge and have the responsibility to successfully accomplish the project. He has to make sure to avoid all risks. Well, not always. Be careful. Test thought. Remember there you said that there are risks that are so insignificant we don't have to avoid them. We can just accept them. All right. In all tasks, he has to make sure to include and take the best from each participant to ensure a sustainable growth in the project and fit to the deadlines. That part is more true. Okay, I'd say half true here, Teston, half true. And the reason for that is that indeed, be careful. Remember that there are many projects. There are a variety of projects, and all of them will differ on the way that we have to manage them. Then Valentin, the project manager, is the person who is assigned to a project in order to lead a team and achieve the project objectives. His primary roles are to plan, project, execute, and control. There's a little bit more there. Indeed, Valentin, your content, correct. I cannot say anything here that is incorrect. But at the same time, it's so vague that I will not be able to give it more than a passing grade on it. Okay, try to be a little bit more specific on your answers, right? Then we have Vani Miredi. Project has a key responsibility to complete the project by leading various teams. No, not necessarily. The main role is to make his team work on given tasks. Not necessarily. He or she makes sure tasks are done on or before the given time. Not always. True, but not always. Given tasks are related to each other activities to accomplish the project on time. Not always. The project manager is to control on all tasks with all his stakeholders. Not always. He or she has to ensure all project deliverables are completed on time. Not always. So here, Bamiredi, this seems like you have one type of project on your mind and you just wrote for those, all right? And basically what happened is, like I said, because there's so many different types of project, this would be incorrect because you are talking like all the projects are like that, and we cannot accept that. Then we have Yasin, and finally Yasin said, project managers are responsible for managing, organizing, and monitoring a project team. They are also responsible for planning the project deadlines and costs to ensure client satisfaction. So far, very good. Those roles are important in all phases of the project, from initiation, planning, execution, as they are dependent on one another for the success of it. It's good answer, good answer. All right. So guys, what I see here, and being very honest with you, we have 4 people that gave me some very interesting answers, very good indeed. But my suggestion to you is, I see a lot of you wrote the answers on your own, okay, and tried their best, but there was just some small mistakes. And that's good. That's very good, all right? But the main issue that I see here is that most of you, a lot of you, went online, picked up some answers they found, and copied them here without actually trying to read them or understand them or adapt them. Remember this. On the final exam, everything you give me, if you plagiarize any part of the final exam, you get a 0 for the whole exam, not just for that answer. Okay, you just get a 0 for the whole exam. So my question for you is it worth it? Okay, remember retaking the course costs 900 euros, all right, if I'm not mistaken. Costs 900 euros for everyone that was plagiarizing this answer. Come on, guys, I'm not an idiot. I know when something is too good to be true, all right? I know it. And the other part is this, guys, when it comes to project management, most of the information online is bullshit. And you're gonna have to figure out which one makes sense and which one does not make sense, all right? So let's pick up once again this question as an example. And the reason I let you work on this one on your own for now is because I knew this would happen. And so to let you know, don't fall into these pitfalls, all right? Because there's a lot of information online that are mistaken because it's people, anyone can write a blog online. God, even I have a YouTube channel, all right? So anyone can do that. So be careful because a lot of the people that speak online about these topics, they have no idea what they're talking about, all right? So let me see what it says on the chat. All right. Now, just one thing. It is very normal that you go online, all right? It is very normal that you go online and get ideas, and that's fine. And you say, oh, actually, my answer is plagiarized because basically I just combined the opinions of 3 different people into my own, and that's fine. What I don't want is for you to simply copy paste or just rewrite a couple of words in the hope that, you know, that I will fall for it. All right, next one. I have another research question for you guys, okay? And this one we're gonna be a little bit different, right? On this one, what we're gonna do is the following. Here's the question. Here's the question here. How should a project manager decide which problems or potential problems deserve being reported to their boss and which ones are not worth the trouble when attempting to never surprise the boss? Never surprise the boss means don't bother the boss, okay? You should not try to go to every single, obviously, I think that makes sense. You should not try to go to your boss with every single little problem that happens on the project. That's why they put you in charge, correct? So the question is, in your opinion, how should you decide if a problem is worth it to report to your boss or not, okay? So I'm gonna, yes, I can, sorry about it. Thank you, Vuk, for letting me know. I forgot I'm not answering the PowerPoint, only the Excel file, right? There's the question on the chat box. Now for this question, we're gonna work a little bit differently. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you 2-3 minutes to think about it, all right? And then anyone that wishes to participate, either you write it on the Google form that I gave you on the column of question 2, and you tell me what you think, or you on the chat box, you type that you want to participate, and you can participate by using the microphone. I will let a more open mic version now. But for you to participate, please do put on the chat first that you want to participate. I'll call your name and you participate. And this is to avoid that annoying thing of having 5 or 6 people trying to talk at the same time. In the meantime, while you read, I'm just going to also answer here a question from Adam. I have a question, how to give sources for this kind of answers? Since we're talking about what we think, the answer is, I mean, of course, our opinion can be backed up by some research, of course, but it's still our opinion. Yes, it is. All I want you to do is go online, maybe find 2 or 3 articles that you believe can help you with your answer, or that, in other words, even better, 2 or 3 articles that how to say, that agree with what your opinion is, right? As it stands right now, and a little bit like the company cases are, you have to understand that you guys so far are not experts. You don't have books written on this. You don't have blogs written on this. You're not world-class experts that I would respect just by your name. So you need to go online, borrow the opinion of other people and say, look, I'm saying this is my opinion, but this is also the opinion of this and this person who are project managers for the past 20 years. For example, all right? So this is how you would fundament. You don't need to directly reference your sources on your answer. You just need to provide to me what did you read to help you make up that answer. Adam, does that answer your question? Can we use what we saw in class with you? Of course you can, because what I did in class is just basically is just basically a way, what I did in class is also a source, all right? You can reference me. There are ways to reference courses. There are ways to reference interviews, okay? And you can do that. It's fine. Just don't reference me for everything, okay? That's the only thing. All right, so I'll give you now a couple more minutes to read the question carefully, think about what you want to say, and then we start the open mic version. Just no singing, please, okay? That's all I ask. I'm just prepping up here. All right. I'm gonna turn off this, turn on the video. There we go. All right, guys. Anyone would like to participate in open mic for this question? Adam would like to participate. Anyone else? Adam, I'm joking. Go for it. Open your mic.
No, I don't want to anymore.
You're upset? All right. So, Adam, the question, like I said, is you're a project manager. Problems show up every day, right? And not all problems are worth to report to your boss. In your opinion, how would you distinct a problem that is worth to go talk to your boss versus a problem that is not worth to go talk to your boss?
Well, my opinion is, from my small experience also, if it's a problem that we can address without bothering the top management, it's better not to notify them unless it's going to affect maybe the primary constraint, or if it may need more resources that we don't have like the green light to do so by ourselves. But usually the less we bother management or stakeholders, the better it is. So we just have to figure out if we can answer the problem by ourselves. By ourselves, I mean with the team, because we all know that within a team, all people have different skill sets and they all can contribute differently to solve a problem. If it's
so let me try to narrow down your answer there. In your opinion, is this: if it's a problem that the team has the ability to solve, you should not bother your boss.
Well, we should have the ability to solve it, basically, or to call an external person to solve it. But I mean, if the problem is not dangerous, I'd say, enough to bother the management or stakeholders. I mean, we should always have the capacity to solve the problem. But if the problem is not really important, between brackets, if it's not really important and like it's just something that pops up and we can resolve the problems and keep going, we don't have to call like the CEO or I don't know and tell him, oh, I have a problem, but I think I can do it. He's just going to tell us, yeah, okay. So he just wasted 2 minutes of my time to tell me that this pops up.
That's very good. I would say that your answer has two very interesting parts. The part of the first part that I already mentioned, the one about, okay, if this is something that the team can solve, then definitely we should try to solve on our own. I like that. The other part that you said about, well, is this problem something big that affects directly our primary constraint? And therefore, it might put, you did not say that, but let me extend your answer a little bit. It might put the whole project at risk. No? Then in those two cases, I completely agree with you. A very interesting answer. I really like. Congratulations. It's nice to see that once in a while you can say something smart. I'm impressed.
Happens once in a year.
Once in a year. All right. Thank you very much, Adam. All right, I'm going to mute you. And the next one we have is Vuk would also like to participate. Vuk, go for it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly.
It's better?
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. I think we can. If I have a problem, I'll let you know.
I wanted to say a similar thing like Adam, especially after looking at some kind of TV show, Succession. It's a TV show about TV series. Sorry,
yeah.
about one big corporation where everything goes around one person and he needs to die and blah blah blah. But the most important thing in that series was when they had some kind of problem. The guy told him, you know, I like when my people eat shit for me. And I realized that's the very important part when you're working for somebody, that if you can eat frog
Yeah.
for him,
Attention, be
let him
careful.
not.
Frogs in France are a delicacy, so it does not work.
Yeah. So I think you shouldn't bother him. Of course, there are a lot of moments where you need to ask your boss, especially when your risk is in risk of product facility and or business procedures
All
are
right.
not
So
performing as required. Risk
Yep.
of, but if you don't have a risk within the project triple constraints boundaries, I don't think that could be. That's something that you can manage. And everything that you can manage, you need to manage.
all right. So your opinion is a little bit in. It's also in line with what Adam said, which is all right. But your opinion is this: we should avoid to the maximum going to our boss, and only in emergencies we should do so when the project is at risk or there is a high difficulty. And I agree with you. I remember some years ago, my father was telling me this story. He used to work with 15 different suppliers. And there was one guy that he really liked in one of the factories. And the guy was telling him, you know, the worst thing about being a manager is that everyone that comes to you always comes to you with problems. No one comes to you and ever tells you there's no problems today. You know, and this is the worst part of being a manager. And this would go back to what I believe a manager really needs to be. A manager needs to be what we call a problem solver. And if you're not a problem solver, then you are a problem causer. And this is how you get fired, right? If you are generating more problems than you are creating, then you're not going to keep your job for long. And on that sense, I completely agree with Vuk. I'll use his words and allow me as well the expression. A manager, when we hire someone to work for us, we want them to eat shit, on the sense that we want them to take care of our problems as much as possible. So once again, Vuk, thank you very much for your comment. It was very interesting as well. Let me know what was this TV show you're watching. I don't know if it's in English, but I would be interested to know. Thomas said, as a project manager, I would report to the management these kinds of issues, conflicts between team members, if we go over the budget, if we miss deadlines. Going engagement issues could be dealt one-on-one to one basis. All right, but Thomas, I have a challenge for you. Now, you go to your boss and tell him, oh, I'm having a problem with the team, with my team. And your boss might tell you, well, you selected your team, that's your fucking problem, right? So be careful on this specific one. Be careful, because sometimes it really depends as well on the manager you have. And if you have if the team was chosen by you, okay, if you chose your team, then my suggestion to you is you should try to solve the problem on your own. But if the team was assigned to you and you're having issues with it, all right, and you need help, then yes. Okay, so this is just a little very interesting as well answer. And also, then he said, reporting to the management can be great because it keeps track and avoids people saying, oh, it's the first time I'm making the mistake, etc. That is also very true. You can report and tell the managers not to intervene, but to inform. And that's a very good point. A lot of times, for example, as you know, I have a weird sense of humor, and sometimes I get in problems with students as well, especially students that plagiarize or students that don't work, okay? And normally I always give the heads up to my bosses, okay? In case of American Business School, I'll just go to Sarah or to Danny and say, Danny or Sarah, attention, the student in this course, I'm having some issues and I want you to know firsthand. Because another important part here that I would like to mention from Thomas' answer is this. Normally, okay, the first one to say something is the one that is perceived as the right one. So if you know there's a problem, try to go to your boss as quickly as possible. Especially if you know the problem might get out of control, and say to the boss, for example, look, there's this issue and I want you to know from me. okay? And this can help you a lot because it shows you did not delay it, rather you were the first one to go and report the issue, okay? All right. So some very interesting answers. Let me see on the Google Drive who answered or who gave me some points there. Oh, Ben put them there as well. No one else wants to participate. Anyone else who would like to participate a little bit more on this issue? To say anything related to the question? When should we go to trouble our boss? Anyone would like? No? Oh, all right then. So we can move on to another one, all right? So as you can see, the discussion questions are extremely open-ended, and there's a variety of ways that you can answer them. Look, I don't have to agree with you in order to give you a full score on the question. All I see, all I care is that the question makes sense, that the question is logical, and that the question obviously has some fundament or some content to it, right? Don't try to beat around the bush. In other words, don't try to avoid the question by saying a lot of words but not really answering. That does not work with me, okay? I used to do that for a living, so I'm immune to bullshit writing, okay? Please, I'll much rather that you have an answer that maybe the English is not perfect or that is short, but at least that I know that it's yours, than something that it was not written by you. Okay, so this was the first part. This is the first part of the exam, okay? 2 questions like this, and you would give me 2 articles that you read to fundament your answer on. The second part of the exam is problem solving. Now, on problem solving is more like a concrete situation, and I'll ask, what would you do in this case? So as an example, all right, as an example, I need to share with you. There was one more. Vanimi Reddy answered. The project manager should escalate project risks when the project gets affected directly. Vanimi Reddy, I'm thinking that the word escalate is not the one you want. What you're basically telling me is that when things are bad, you should make it worse. And I don't think that's a good strategy. All right. So I think the word, I think maybe what you were trying to say is de-escalate, right? De-escalate. Attention, it's the complete opposite, okay? All right, guys. So let me show you now for question 2. All right. So question 2, oh, damn it, where's my Zoom? Here we are. Ah, there it is. There's me with my beautiful picture. I'm just gonna share with you this part. There you go. All right. So sorry that it says set as a picture because I just copied it from my database and it was easier to copy the picture directly. All right. So here's an example of something I might put as the case study. So this one is called Springville Fire Department. The city of Springville is building a new fire station in their city. The city is expanding and is in need of a second fire station closer to the newer areas of the city to ensure a shorter response time. The project manager and the project team have been selected for the problem. The team is very interested in selecting the scheduling technique that will be used to follow the project through to the completion, all right? So the project manager, city manager, and chief of fire department have set the following criteria for the process of selecting a scheduling technique. Needs to be something that is easy to use, needs to show the duration of the tasks, needs to show the milestones, and it can see the flow of the work. In other words, it can see the sequence of all the events that need to be done. It can depict which tasks can be undertaken at the same time and what can tell how far tasks are from being completed. The city manager favors Gantt chart, the chiefs like PERT estimates, and the project manager prefers the CPM, okay? Critical path management, for the ones who don't know, all right? So in other words, you have here, we studied many tools that can be used to manage a schedule. We studied Gantt charts, network diagrams, PERT PERT analysis, critical path management. We study all of these things. Now, the big question is, all right, if you are the project manager, which method you would use and why? Out of all the systems that we cover, and you can actually go online and find some more, which one would you use? Which one you believe is the best one that meets what your customers in this project want, okay? So this is a slightly different project, as you can see. It's a more, let's say, it's a mini case study, all right? So there's a problem and you have to tell me what solution would you select for this problem? And where the hell is my chef? There you go, all right? So for this one, once again, let me give you a couple of minutes to think about, all right? A couple of minutes to think about. Let me know in the chats or through the mic if you have a question about this one, and then we go back to the discussion. All right. Let me just complete one thing here. Oops. So once again, I'm going to add a new column. So I'm going to call it question problem. On that column, you can answer if you wish to participate. So just one thing, Visually participated, and Adam Omani also participated. Hi, let's get started. Thomas asked, in the exam, if we have the choice in between 3 techniques, but that we'll love to work on another, could we? Of course you can, all right? You can select whatever technique you want. What I care is not about the technique you choose. I care is about how do you defend why that technique is the best. And does that technique meet the needs of the customers, all right? Okay. Let me know on the chats. Let's start the open mic. I would really love if more people participated, okay, as well. So let's get started. Who would like to go first? Open mic as well. Yeah, all the questions now will be open mic. I prefer it, makes it much more like a normal class, in my opinion. Okay. And I'm gonna stop now just sharing the screen. Okay, so that we can focus on the Excel sheet as well. All right. Adam, please, thank you for participating again. God, I never thought I would ever say that. Wait, let me unmute you. There you go. Adam.
Okay.
All right.
So
which one would you use and why? Tell me.
I think I'll go with PERT because I believe the chief of the department has a better understanding of the risk and the issues that firefighters face. So I'll trust him.
But attention! He's not a project manager, right?
No, of course. I believe that the PERT allows you, like at just a glance, a rapid glance, to see the link between the tasks, the deadlines, and of course the sequences. So it's really easy to look at a PERT chart and understand all of the requirements that they want for the project. If I have the possibility to do so, I will try to design a digital version of it so it can maybe monitored through a big screen for the whole department or individually. It's going to be more readable and user-friendly for the people, and we may be also able to tailor it a little bit. So maybe, for example, you can see how the tasks are completing.
But attention, because the PERT, the PERT is a technique of calculation, right?
Okay.
So when you only use PERT, that does not make sense, because if you only use PERT, what you're telling me is you're going to use PERT to predict how much time its task will need. But you need to use it in association with something else, because otherwise it would just be a table with the tasks and duration. All right?
Because I found, I searched on real quick online of some PERT templates, and I found some templates that show the flow, well, the different sequences and the link between sequences and different tasks.
But that's a network diagram using PERT. Let me ask if you saw something that maybe looks like this. Wait, did you see something that looks like this?
No, it was more.
Or you want to share? You want to share your screen and show us?
I'll just send you the link, maybe.
Okay, just send the link then.
Leave not full screen. This is what I saw, like the first diagram that you can see on this page. Well, CPMs just is maybe not easy to understand for the people who are going to, like firefighters, who are going to use it in day-to-day basis.
This is a network diagram. No, this is a Grant. It's a network diagram, but it's just a different method that we use. It's a slightly different display. See, task, duration, start date, end date, responsible, but it's very similar to what we used. Yes. It's per chart again. Look, this is from a website not about Project Manager, but about visual paradigm online diagrams. So this is not an official chart, let's say, but it could be used. It could definitely be used. This would be a good way indeed to meet the project requirements. Yes. Okay. So you make a good point. If you use this, if you use PERT calculations and then use a simplified network diagram like this one, that would work perfectly. And on your answer on the exam, you could do this, you could say like, I would use a technique like the one here on this image or on this link.
Okay.
All right.
Fine.
So you could definitely do that. It's a nice one. I never seen like this, but it looks nice. Looks definitely nice. All right. Adam, very good indeed. Vuk, please.
I don't know. I thought that I would use Gantt chart because I understand Gantt chart the best, and probably I think CPM is a very good way for project management. I don't understand it completely still. it's a bit confusing
Yeah, which
in my
is fair
mind.
enough. It's fair enough.
So I probably will use Gantt chart, PERT, Gantt chart and PERT.
Okay, so Vuk, you bring a very interesting point, which is also, all right, you have the needs of the customer, but you also have the needs of the project manager. And in this case, for example, you say, I'm much more comfortable working with a Gantt chart, and I probably would be able to answer all the questions that my clients have in this case just by using a Gantt chart. And that's fair enough. That's a very good point that you bring. So you can also have your personal preference as long as it meets the needs of the customers, you know? And I think that I actually agree with you. I think Gantt chart would probably be what I use as well, because remember, one of the major advantages of Gantt chart, one of the major advantages that most people knows how to use a Gantt chart. And I told you here, one of the very first criteria on the exercise, right? One of the very first criteria is that it must be easy to understand. And Gantt charts are easy to understand. Let me show them here.
Professor, I have answered the question in the Excel sheet.
Wait, easy to understand as well. Yep, I'm gonna go now to the Excel sheet and see what other people said. All right, let me just wrap the texts. Text wrapping. Oh, there you go. So, Babu, I assume that was you, Babu. Was that you?
Yes, Professor, it's me.
All right. So Babu said, as a project manager, I would prefer to use Gantt chart. Using Gantt chart can include visual schedule, assigning due dates to tasks, assigning staff tasks, identifying critical path, and track progression of work items. And Gantt chart makes complex information more manageable because their visual nature makes it easy to comprehend detailed project information at a glance. And that is very true. Gantt charts enable greater team productivity because they help individuals better manage their time, which in turn helps team improves their overall performance. I'll slightly disagree with this last sentence, but fair enough. They also make scheduling more effective because they help managers visualize their resource capability, and this allows them to mindfully allocate people to projects so key resources don't become overworked. Gantt charts help keep different groups on the same page by collating disparate project information into one tool and making it easy to share among the different stakeholders. All you said is very true, okay, but you described to me the advantages of Gantt chart. What I would have liked to see a little bit more is, how does Gantt chart help me to meet all the things that you see over here, all the needs that I have over here? The perfect answer to this case is selecting the tool and then tell me, how does the tool link to each one of the needs on my customers? In this case, I have 3 or 4 customers that you need to satisfy. Let me see also, let me just check one thing here. Format, crap. But overall, Babu, it was a good answer. It was a good answer, okay? Not perfect, but good. Then Ben said CPM, so critical path management, because it shows all the dependencies in between the tasks, and it's the best way to figure out the shortest amount of time needed to complete the project, aka what the client is asking for. It's a good point too. Good point too. But it would be interesting. It's also interesting. You could also in your answer, for example, say, why does the task that you selected, okay, why does the task that you selected maybe is not the best one, all right? For example, if you have for example, oh, I would use this task, and for example, I would use CPM, and CPM would meet the need of the customers on this, and this, but the only problem is that CPM a lot of times is not easy to understand, for example, so I might have to help my clients understand the information there, or give them a training session on how to read this diagram, for example. But overall as well, Ben, a very good answer as well, okay? I'm just talking about stuff that could have been added extra, but not necessarily. Sharma has an answer here. All right, Sharma said, I would select Gantt chart because we can see the schedule, the critical path, and we can even see which tasks can be undertaken at the same time. It is visual presentation on the project, which helps to understand about the project and take less time. It even links the tasks to other tasks, and we get to know if the task is on time or we need to put more people on the task as to complete on time or to avoid delay. It's a very good answer, Sharma, very good answer indeed, Okay, I really like it. We could also say, but attention, don't forget one thing, Gantt charts can become extremely complicated if the project is complex, right? In this case, it's the construction of a fire station, so it's not a super complex project, but in my opinion, it's a good answer that we have over here, because you directly state the things that meet what the customers were asking for, right? Excellent, excellent, excellent. Let's go back to the chat now here. And now we have, I think Sharma, I already read Sharma's answer, not through the chat, but through the Google Forms. All right. Very, very interesting question, and very interesting answers, all of you. Good job, guys. And indeed a good point. All right, so I think you guys answered the questions on a way that I am happy with. All right, so finally, for the last part of the exam would be a case study. And for the case study, all right, for the case study, basically what would happen is, like I said before, you would have 1 or 2 questions on the case study. Let me just I just need, though, is before I do show you the case study and we start working on it, I just need a 5-minute break. So let's do this. I take 5 minutes now. I come back at 3:05 and I show you the case study that I want to do. And you guys then can also participate by answering them. So let's take a 5-minute break, everyone. So 3:07, we come back. All right. I'm taking your silence as a yes. All right, so I'll be back in just 5 minutes. There you go. All right. Okay, guys, I'm back. I just sent you a file on the chat. And this is, okay, to be honest, this is a longer case that than I would put on the final exam. Don't worry, right? This is just for you to practice. This case study is not coming in the final exam whatsoever. And this is just an example of a case study or the kind of questions I would ask on a case study, and it's a way for you to practice. I'm not gonna go through it, all right? I'm actually gonna give it to you, and then if you want a little bit of feedback on your answers for the case study, let me know. But basically, what's gonna happen is this. Specifically for the final exam, all right, I was just checking and I find it easier. What I'm going to do is the following. When you access the final exam, you get access to a specific file, all right? And basically, on that file, you download your final exam, all right? You download your final exam, and then you just have to resubmit it on the, you might have to resubmit the file. So if it shows a file for you to download, you have to download it, but most definitely, at least for the case studies and all the questions, I should be able to manage. I'll send you the precise, if I cannot set the, if I cannot change the website canvas to do what I want, I'll let you know exactly. But you can rest assured for now, it should be just you should be able to get all the information you need when you just open the exam, all right? So in this case study, like I said, it's extremely long because it's 3 pages, 2.5 pages actually. It would not come in the final exam. On your final exam, the case study would be equivalent to 1 page, 1.5 page. So something that you can read in 15 minutes for sure. For the ones you wish, you can always copy it and for example, paste it and print it if you need at home. Okay. So what do I look like? What do I look when I have a case study answer? So let me just share now the screen with you. Share my file with you while I see as well your chat. Let me know if you have any questions on the chat or just by interrupting me with the microphone. I don't mind in this case, right? So the important thing is that you read the case study, and typically I read case studies twice. The first time is to get an overview of the picture, and the second time is to see what information is relevant for each question. Then the worst thing you can possibly do is to immediately try to answer the questions immediately, because normally what happens is you start your answer and then halfway through you forget what you were saying and you start talking about something else. So rather, my suggestion to you is before you write your answer to actually use a couple of bullet points to say what are the things that you want to talk about, and to really precisely answer, to precisely know that you did not forget to say something important on the answer to that case study. So in this case study, this is a case study about risk management and closing up the project. And I put a couple of examples at the end of some questions. I gave you seven questions, but I gave you 7 questions here just for you guys to practice. But in reality, on the final exam, you would only have 2 of them. All right. For example, I might give this actually. I might give a situation like this, where a lot of you have the same case study, but you all get different questions, for example, about the same case study. That is also possible to have, okay? So, but anyway, what do I look like in an answer? On an answer for a case study, what I look like is for precision of the information, all right? So in other words, don't describe to me what the problem is. Don't waste time describing what the question is. Rather, tell me specifically answer the question, all right? So for example, here on this question, this is another good example of a question. How would you structure the report on what and on what basis over here? So here, what do I mean is, for example, you have, in this case, you have, on this case study, you have to create the structure for the specific report related to the project. And what I would know is, how would you structure it? What do I mean with that? What parts of the report would you have? And then explain to me, obviously, why do you have those parts? Okay, now I expect an answer of around 200 words to 400 words, like I said, for each one, depending on how you distribute your words. But the important thing is that you describe and defend your answers. When I say defend, it's also important that you give me here some sources that fundament your answer. In other words, that confirm what you're saying. A lot of things here will be based on opinion, but even opinions can be researched upon. You don't have to tell me specifically what part of the information you used from your reference, but rather that you used it and it affected the way that you structured your answer. Okay, so the questions, like I said in the case study, all the case studies have very different topics. There are case studies that are more focused on scheduling, more case studies more focused on risk management, case studies more focused on scope creep, for example. So I cannot tell you directly what your case study will be, but rather make sure you download the necessary materials, rewatch the videos that I made for the later part of the course. And obviously, if you have any questions, you just need to let me know on WhatsApp. Okay, and I can help you. Now, any questions that you have before Sunday, perfect, and I'll be a little bit more precise. But remember, during next week, I'm not going to be answering questions about content, all right? Because that is part of your project, is to research the things that you need for the final exam, all right? And now that I gave you the case study and the questions, you can practice of them. Later on, you can let me know if you have any questions, but I'm not going to be doing it now because I have another class in 15 minutes, all right? And I need to get things ready for that one, all right? So with that, is everyone clear? Do we have any last questions regarding the exam or the deadlines or so on?
Wait, I just have a question.
Yeah.
Because I was just now able to enter the Zoom meeting. Like, where are you going to be posting the recording?
Don't worry. I'm downloading this, and then basically I download it as a video file, and then I upload it on YouTube. Okay?
Okay, perfect.
Or if you wish, I can also send it by pigeon.
What
All
is
right?
that?
A pigeon, you know?
Oh. Okay.
That's my answer to anything, is to
I
send
forgot
everything
your
by pigeon.
jokes, man. I got out of it. Like,
Yeah,
everyone
everyone did. My jokes, I don't have any. I'm feeling really bad. I cannot insult my students anymore. I was just saying that earlier.
Me too.
But anyway, don't worry. I will definitely post this on the. I will definitely post this video on YouTube so that you can rewatch it. I should be doing it right. That's why I need 15 minutes before the start of my next classes to do that. Sarah has another. Adam said everything is clear. Sarah said, do we have to review all the materials from the beginning of the semester? Yes. My opinion is go through all the materials, reread them, watch the videos, because it will. Project management is not something that I can separate. Well, that I can tell you that, oh, we separate things into specific units, all right? We did. Every week we cover different parts. Now, obviously, try to review all of it, but remember, the exam is open book. So you will have access to your materials during the exam as well. So you don't have to worry about memorizing everything, all right? I hope that answers your questions, Sarah. Any other questions that we have, guys? No. All right. And in that case, I'm going to finish the lesson now. I'm going to record. This is being recorded. I'm going to stop recording now.